if y'all need a few minutes to look over the schedule if you haven't seen your emails yet. But Coach, we could get an opening statement from you on the schedule and your thoughts, and then we'll take questions.
First of all, thanks for being here. Appreciate your time. Certainly excited about the release of this schedule. We worked hard to make some changes to it and provide a more diverse experience for our student athletes and an opportunity to have a really competitive schedule that's going to set us up for success when we get into the AAC conference slate. So just really excited about the opportunities here and excited for our guys to get a competitive schedule.
So I know back in the summer you said that, hey, this is what we needed to do to get ready to have a better RPI, to be in a better position to make the tournament. You felt that was a must, right?
Yes, I thought it was a must. The only way to get an automatic bid, as you know, is to win the conference tournament. And we've struggled, I think, as a conference the last couple years to get a multitude of teams in. As in the years before that, we were getting multiple bids. So I think doing our part to accelerate the competitive portion of that and try to play to the RPI game, in my mind, was really important. And just in the recruiting circles too, when you're trying to recruit players, they want to play a competitive schedule. So trying to give them those opportunities and give them a broad-based experience within that scheduling philosophy.
As schedules go, this is pretty anywhere between, where is it between challenging and daunting?
Yeah, it's ambitious for sure, but I think our guys want that, and I think they're welcoming that. And I think it just gives them a little edge when we're at practice to know that they can't just go with the philosophy of just rolling the balls out and playing. The sword needs to be sharpened, and I just think there's no downside to that in my opinion. So if we're worthy of that, then we'll see that come to fruition.
3 trips to the West Coast or farther, I think that's probably a school record. Or you kind of previewed that or summer, but just
yeah.
How do you feel like that'll help you?
But again, I think it gives us the opportunity to travel away from the region. And this region has great baseball, and the RPI is typically strong in the South. So, a lot of different conferences and teams just within our own region. So, from that standpoint, I didn't feel like necessarily we had to totally revamp, although it feels like we've totally revamped in terms of where we're playing. But I think getting the opportunity to head to the West Coast and pick up those kind of RPI opportunities on the road, and in a place that I'm more familiar with as well. But again, I think part of the process of coming to Tulane is, we have 20 kids from 20 different states in our locker room. So I wanted to kind of have a schedule that reflected that diversity across the country, and we have alumni all across the country. So the opportunity to bring our show to our alumni on that side of the country is also definitely enticing. So just we're looking forward to getting out there and having new experiences. And like I said in the interview a few months ago, the last time I checked, the national championship is not in Turchin. So the more we can play on the road and get more comfortable with that, I think the better that we're going to be prepared down the road when these guys are playing for what they want to play for.
Dodger Stadium's a pretty iconic spot. You use that as recruiting tool at all, or kind of that?
I think the opportunity to play in a venue like that is certainly exciting. But the teams that are in it, USC, UCLA, and Sacramento State, provide stiff challenges, and just excited that part of that, is in Dodger Stadium.
The games out Turchin is LSU. Can you kind of talk about playing the Tigers, especially later on in the season, while last year was a little bit earlier?
I would like to term that as they're going to play us. We play the game of baseball, so it's never about the opponent. It's always about the game of baseball, and if you can execute the game of baseball better than the other team, whoever that is in the other dugout, then you're going to have the best chance to win. So it's not always about the best team winning. Ask Tennessee last year, ask the Dodgers this year, ask the Braves. It's about execution. It's about being hot at the right time, and it's about the makeup of your team and are they tough enough. And I think, again, being able to schedule on the road and being road tough and figuring out how to play those kinds of games against those quality opponents is going to help us when it comes to whatever those uniforms are that people think are special, which, those are earned, and it's not disrespectful. It's just that I'm not going to make any more out of, one team or the other. We're playing the game of baseball and throw strikes, play catch, put the ball in play. So
No Southeastern on the schedule, Coach?
Yeah, that was not an omission on purpose. That was their league bringing in some new teams. They had an issue. They started going to their initial conference schedule came out as 4 games in a weekend, which makes it tough to add a midweek game during the conference. So Matt and I couldn't get that organized soon enough. I needed to move on, and so we'll reconvene that rivalry next year.
So you will for sure play them next year?
Yes.
Coach, not a baseball specific question, but do you think, obviously, Coach Fritz and the football team is building the hype and kind of setting up a great Tulane athletic season, not just one or two particular sports?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of positivity going on right now in the department. I think that's a great thing. When one team can bring excitement, it certainly feeds into everybody else. Everybody gets excited. It's not just the student athlete that gets excited, but it's also your fan base. And so when you can generate that kind of excitement, I think it's a positive thing for everybody, and it raises the bar, and that's great. And the thing that I appreciate about our football team is, they went 2-10 last year and had to spend 1 million days in Birmingham, and nobody got in the portal. They all stayed. They all showed great leadership, and I think you see that on the field, and I think there's a sense of purpose and leadership that you see. So as somebody who's now been here for 4 years, I'm really excited and happy for that program. They're very deserving, and they've earned the opportunity to have people come out and support them, which is what we're trying to do. We need to earn our fans faith in coming out. Why should they spend their money to come out and watch us play? We need to uphold our end of the bargain and play hard and play tough and never quit and win games. And I think you see when you do those kinds of things, it drums up interest and excitement within the fan base. And I, for one, like to see people walking around town wearing Tulane stuff instead of wearing somebody else's, college sweatshirt or T-shirt. And so that part's been really exciting. I really like their way. I think they want to be coached. They want to be led. I'm trying right now to get them to lead themselves and then kind of take me out of the equation, because the best teams are always player-driven and led by the players. If the coach has to do all the disciplining and the corrections, not that I'm asking the players to coach each other, but there is a way that it needs to be. And when, again, I referenced the football team to our players on Sunday about how I think that if the football coaching staff took a siesta and they left it to the players on the field, I think they'd be able to run themselves. And to me, that's the ultimate mission. That's the ultimate compliment as a coach, is if you stepped away from it, how would that look like in practice? How would that look like in a game? So I've been very pleased with the way we respond to challenges. I think that's really good. The pitching part has been good. We've thrown strikes. We've been competitive, and we're making a lot of strides on the offensive side. So again, when you scrimmage, somebody always does something well, and then on the other end of that, somebody's not doing something as well because you're playing each other. So the good thing about Saturday's opponent, when they come into here, it'll be reflective of a report card of how we've done up until this point, and then what we need to work on moving forward is the way I look at that. We certainly want to win, and we're going into that with a mission to win, but we're also going to kind of do what we do and figure out where our weaknesses are and our deficiencies, and that'll allow us to tighten those up and improve on those things.
Yeah, you mentioned it. I mean, facing a team like UL and during the fall, just kind of what opportunities that bring. You're obviously a conference champion, made it to the postseason. What kind of opportunity do you see playing them this early?
Yeah, so we had an opportunity when I first got here to play them in the fall and then turn around and play them in the spring. And so I just appreciate the way they play. They play hard. They play a tough style of baseball, and they have a lot of in-state kids. So that part is, and I recruited a lot of them. And so it'll be good to be able to play against a team that's competent and well coached.
Coach, based on your personality, how would you like to see the guys, play the game? I know you.
Yep.
You have a way about how you go about things. How would you define that?
Energetic, tough, never say die, always playing, always passionate, communicating. And just when you watch them on the field, my hope and my want is for our fans to look at that product and say, man, those guys play hard. It's noticeable how they play. It's noticeable how they compete. Doesn't mean they always win, whether it's the pitch or the game or what have you. But there's definitely, when you watch it, you can see that the effort level is there. That's kind of what I look for. In the game, it gives you the best chance. It doesn't ensure your success, but it definitely gives you the best chance to be successful, that kind of attitude and way. My World Series prediction is already out. The Dodgers, that's my team. So I'm a little disappointed there. However, I think the Astros are really good. I think the Phillies are really hot. So I think it's going to be a really competitive World Series, but I'm going to go with the Phillies.
I like that answer.
Thank you.
Any more questions for Coach?